All right, picking up right where I left off, welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. In the last episode, remember we got everything ready for refined storage to come take over our inventory management system here. And in this episode, we're just going to dive right in and do it. Not even a moment's hesitation, we're just doing it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start to move this drawer down here. If you'll recall, this is the drawer that we've been using to store all of our birch. And I'm going to put this guy right over here in the middle of all of our other farmed items because I don't have anywhere else to put it. So we may as well do that. And the linking tool here, you can just link that as well. And add all of those together. Beautiful. Precisely what I wanted to see. And so we should be good to go there. You will start to fill up my inventories here, but I'm not really too concerned. And I can go ahead and disconnect this guy right here to help us out. Now, if you'll recall, we have a bunch of these barrels that we're not really going to need anymore. So I'm going to go and start to take these out. Just to kind of help me make some space, really, is the only reason why I'm doing it this way. I want to make enough space for me to get my new wiring in place. And then, as we continue to, progress here and clean up and get everything going, we should be able to pretty easily modify all of our existing storage and inventory systems to either go fully digital or to utilize the existing physical mediums that we have here. So I think this will work out just fine, but we definitely have some work to do. So I'm just going to clear out a couple of these. I don't really think we're going to need to clear out all of them quite yet. I think that should probably be fine. And then I believe our pipe pressurizer lives right here. Yes, it does. So my goal is to make it so that our controller is easily visible and easily usable, because you can kind of accidentally, at least I know I do, accidentally mess up the location or the placement of your controller for refined storage and make it a little bit harder than you expect it to be to get everything configured and set up because of just maybe like a poor placement or poor planning for placement, which I've done before. So I speak only from experience when I say that I'm going to try to prevent that from happening. Anyways, let's go and fill in that hole that we left behind. We can actually go through and start filling in quite a few things as we go. But for now, I'm just going to keep it really simple because this is going to be an overhaul episode where we just kind of take everything that we knew and undo it or remove it or change it. Now, let's see. Anything in these? Nope. Does not look like it. Great. That's what we like to see. Awesome. And so we can just fill all of this in as well. Just helps with planning. And so we have our energy line here. I'm not moving these drawers. I'm not moving these drawers. I'm not moving these drawers at all. Not a chance. So really our biggest chances for success here are if we were to go through and pipe everything sort of the way that we were. Somewhat. Let me enable the magnet for just a moment. And then we'll disable that again. And let's go and get our external storages placed down here and here. So remember, we had our highest priority modules configured for the pipes, right? And we had our high priority modules as well. Well, we can handle priority completely differently in refined storage. We can handle it with a great deal of granularity. The Pretty Pipes mod offers you plenty of granularity for most use cases. I never ran into a use case where I needed more than 3 levels of granularity, and you technically get 6 levels if you consider the fact that you can also have low, lower, and lowest priority. So with high, higher, and highest, low, lower, and lowest, you can get 6, maybe even 7 if you consider the default level as well. But here, the default is 0, and I can either set it to negatives or positives. So since these are my drawers where I'm going to be storing everything first, I'm going to set these priorities to 1024. I want them to be the utmost priority. I don't want anything else to come out before that. So if I do 1024, that's extremely high enough that I know anything else that I possibly ever set up will never supersede these, or at least probably won't. And if I do, then that's completely my own fault, and I deserve to be made fun of. Now, we have energy here. I might find it easier if I were to pipe the energy around the back, which is why I made a bunch of extra energy pipes. So why don't we do that? Why don't we have our controller right here smack dab in the middle? And at some point, we're probably going to need a basement. But for now, I'm trying to keep things pretty low key. So let's do controller right there in the middle. and we will do our pipe system coming over here, and watch our controller. You see right now it's fully gray, it's dead, right? Watch as I hook this up. It starts to come to life, and now we're alive. We're online. Everything is good to go. I'm going to leave this area here lit and open so that if I ever need to remind myself how I got here or how I had this wired, I don't have to like go trudging through a whole bunch of dirt just to do that. Now, I think I've mentioned it before. I will mention it again. This is not the whole story. This just gives me a controller. It has now got power, but it's not hooked up to anything. So we are going to use these cables to do that. So I'm going to hook up there, and I'm going to hook up here. And they're going to have a cost. These are each going to cost me 6 FE total. And actually, cables cost nothing. They can configure, you can configure them to cost. But in this pack, they cost nothing to run through cables. And each one of our external storages is going to cost only 3 FE per tick. If I look at the capacity, you can see the capacity here. That's what this big empty bar is. You can see it says it's basically 0% full out of the maximum capacity. That number is usually made up, so you can't always rely on that. Just an FYI. If you wanted to rely on that, I would recommend not using drawers like this. Now, above this guy, I'm going to sneak in here, and I'm going to put down a disk drive. And I'm going to put in our 16K storage that we made. And you'll see now you have a capacity as well. That's 0% full out of 16K. Last but not least, I want to put in our terminal, our means of access. Now, I want my terminal to be actually like at eyeball level, and I think we could pretty easily do that if we just did the following. So we can break this, don't worry about that, and then we can just put the crafting grid here. Now, there's obviously a block missing now because of what I just did, and we will get to how to fix that. Right, so don't let me forget. I'm actually going to break this block right here so that we remember. But there are ways to cover up these pipes. And now if I right click, you can see there's all of my stuff. And I can just drag it out. I can get it whenever I want it. I don't have to do any requesting. Not to say that that was a bad thing. Not to say that that was a poor design. But this is just way more convenient. And you can see that it's got it really taking up a lot of space. So here are my settings that I like. I usually like to do large scale. JEI synchronized two-way, but not auto-selected. So if I come in here and hit tab, then I start typing, and it'll synchronize if I type here, it'll synchronize if I type here. If I come over here and start searching, you know, sand, and then I come over here, it's only going to show me my sand results here. Pretty convenient. However, none of the items from my drive are showing up because I don't have any items in my drive yet. So all of my barrel items down here, they're not going to show up yet. That's what we get to fix right now. So what I'm going to be doing is essentially just going around and tossing a bunch of items in. So we have, there are some things that I need to clean up from my own inventory before I start doing that because I don't want to take out too many items that I maybe would want to keep. But honestly, yeah, we can just start throwing stuff in, I think. Pipe pressurizer, all of this stuff is good to go. So watch the birch count, right? You see we have 2,000. If I put that in, it's going to stay at 2,000. So that shows that the overriding function is going to work. If I come over here, it's just 2,000. And if I disconnect this really quickly and then look for birch, you'll see there is no birch because the disconnect worked. I did put my pipes away. My cables away. I don't want that, so we'll just undo that really quickly. Also come down here and grab my pipe and grab that connection, put that back together. And now we can just start cleaning everything out. This is what I find to be probably the #1 most cathartic thing in this video game, is the ability to go through and just clean house and make it all super easy to access, make it all super easy to use. You know, you make a big mess in the process, but once you get the big mess handled, I don't know, there's just something about it that is like so satisfying to have it all organized in a way that you like. I also forgot to mention that I like to sort by ID because I'm old-fashioned. I remember when things were sorted by numerical ID, and I liked it that way because all the Minecraft stuff showed up first. It's not that way anymore, but somehow refined storage still goes by ID somehow. I'm willing to bet that it's just going by either a custom sort that is meant to sort of emulate that same exact feeling that I miss of ordering it by the numerical ID, or it's actually going just by like the order in which the item was initialized. You can see we're already at 3,225 items out of our 16,000 items just from that one diamond barrel. So we're probably going to need to upgrade very soon, if not immediately. We'll see. We'll have to play that by ear for sure. But things are definitely going to be possibly problematic as we continue here. We'll see. So anyways, I'm just going to be sitting here doing exactly what you see I'm doing right now, which is just shift-clicking a bunch of stuff and tossing it into this grid right here. And when I'm done, I'll come back, because this is not very exhilarating content. It is very satisfying, but it's not the best content I could make. So I got pretty close to done, but our disk here is red. That means it's full. If I started taking stuff out, you'd see it go from red to orange to indicate almost full. But yeah, we are full up. I can save a lot of space by like turning steel into blocks. That will help a little bit. But frankly, we just have a lot of items. We've been playing in this world for a really, really, really long time. So we may have to go ahead and move up to another 16K. I think that's totally doable, at least. Let's go ahead and see if we can get out of here, first of all. And then see about getting the remainder of those disk drives. Oh yeah, we've got plenty now. No goop? Wow, what a jerk. Anyways, so we can go and do another disk drive. So if you remember, we don't have to do half of the work that we did before. So if we do, let's see, 4K again, which we already had bookmarked. I forgot about that. We can just do 1, 2, 3, and it'll automatically refill the remainder here. So we can grab 3, 6, 9, hopefully. Yep, perfect. And then we can do... looks like we're going to need more of these guys. That's not too bad, though. Let's go and just clean that up a little bit as well. So yeah, you can kind of tell already how much easier this is going to be with the new setup, hopefully at least. So let's go and get those made, and then we should be good to go. But yeah, so far we are almost through all of the quartz here. This was a huge amount of quartz that we went through, so I'll definitely have to do some mining in between. But we do have the new silk touching ability, or sorry, the new vein mining ability of our pneumatic jackhammer from a couple episodes ago. So we can really put that to a test and maybe try to get a fortune book so that we can make that even easier. I'm not really sure how much easier we can make it, but we'll see. And then let's see, can we do another 16? Yes, we can. And then let's encase that. Perfect. So there's another 16K storage that we have access to now. I'll just hop up here, put that there, and you can see now we have way more space than we did before. Super nice. Again, I do actually need to move a couple of things into better storage. For example, I need that steel that we saw before. I definitely think it would be most logical to just store all of our steel in a drawer because we have this much. That's a lot. So probably makes sense to put it down here with all the other stuff that we have kind of from the same genre of immersive. In my opinion, at least it feels like the same genre. But now we have this huge void that we can go through and clean up. Now there is still the question of what to do with this guy here, right? So this guy is just filling up with resources and is not going anywhere, and that's kind of going to be a problem as well. There is, however, a way to do a workaround for this, and that is going to be the importer. Oh, really quickly, I also wanted to analyze our power usage, so let's take a look at that. We are doing 18 FV per tick with this setup. Very cheap to run this. In fact, I think our pipe pressurizer sometimes used a little bit more than that, depending on how quickly and how frequently we had requested items. But yeah, it definitely feels a little cheaper. And I know this looks terrible. We're going to fix that this episode as well, so don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. It's going to be fine. But I want to get an importer. The importer here is going to allow us to take items out of an inventory from somewhere else. And I'm also going to want to get some speed upgrades. Speed upgrades are going to be very, very, very helpful, except we're almost out of quartz enriched iron again. So let's grab some more iron and see if we can get a little bit more. If we could get like some stack upgrades, that would be really nice, actually. So let's do this and that. And see if we can just barely squeeze out enough here. We'll see. All right, so let's get 7 of these upgrades. And then we're going to want speed upgrades. So let's get 21 pieces of sugar. How much? Do I have any, like, just plain sugar? I might. Nope. Okay. Let's grab 21 pieces here. Of course, I would grab 22. That's fine. I'll just clean that out. And we're going to need a bunch more quartz-enriched iron for that. So that's fun. Let's see if we can get, like, 35-ish. It looks like we're going to need... we're out of iron. Okay, well, I can get more iron. Fortunately, we have infinite amounts of that. So yeah, my goal here is to not only have the importer clean out our items, but clean them out quickly. I'm really afraid that we're going to run out of iron. Let's just do like several stacks like that. And we'll do this. And you should kick off again. Nice. Now, my one question that I'm starting to get a little bit worried about is iron. That is a lot of storage. I might go ahead and get a void upgrade for that just in case, because I'd really hate to overflow on iron. So let's see if we can do that really quickly. That's an empty drawer, right? Yep, okay, great, good to see. Let's go ahead and put that on the iron. Again, just to be safe. I'd really hate to find out the hard way that I miscalculated something there somehow. All right, so now that that housekeeping is done, how are we doing over here? We're getting somewhere. Let's see, so we can do 5 of these, and I wanted 4 of them to make the stack upgrade. So speed increases how regularly it pulls items in, but oh, I really miscalculated the sugar. Whoops. I don't know how I miscalculated it that badly. No, we'll try that. But the speed will, okay, so speed is how frequently, but stack will increase everything that or every bit that gets imported will get imported as a whole stack rather than just 1 or 4 or 16 items at a time. So I don't know where to put this because the way I've routed this, you remember how I said, you know, it's kind of important to route this smartly last episode? I did not route this smartly. Did I say that last? No, that was this episode. So let's route this a little more smartly and go up a block, and we can just put the lighting down at the floor, and we'll do that, and that way we can now have our importer, or we'll put the dimensional chest here, and then we'll put our importer here, and you'll see this is very slow. This is 1 item at a time, but this only costs 1 FE a tick. If I put 1 speed upgrade in there, it's going to go from 1 FE to 3 FE. So you can imagine now we're at 9 FE a tick. Actually, it looks like 7. That's a little weird. We put the stack upgrade in there, and now we're at 19. But look at how quickly it's importing items. It's almost instant, and it snags the whole item immediately, which is super, super helpful. Now, if you'll recall, I did mention that there was a way to cover or facade, and that is literally what they're called, I believe, is called, where is it a cover? It is a cover, never mind, not facades. But if I grab some iron nuggets and took the spruce log that I was using before, it's not 4, it's just 1, I can make a cover of spruce log. And you can do this with almost every single block in the game. It's outstanding. And if I come here and just right click on the side that I want to cover, we can do exactly that. And so I'll cover all 4 sides that really matter. The top and the front and the bottom don't really matter because we can already see those anyway. But now, to the naked eye, especially from the outside looking through that bush, you're going to just see spruce wood. It just looks like spruce wood. And this goes for so many different blocks that you can do this with. It's outstanding how many different blocks you can do this with. So yeah, this really opens up a lot of opportunities for us now. We can expand our storage drawer set quite a bit now. Let's do that as well. That's a little better. That's a lot better, actually. So yeah, we can now more quickly import. Obviously, we can now have a lot more room in here for even more storage drawers when we get to that point. But for now, you know, I think we're already doing really, really well. And again, these covers, very, very, very invaluable. You can make them hollow so that pipes can go through them. Otherwise, pipes. So the cables can go through them. Otherwise, the cable will actually just go around. So do keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is if I grabbed a cocoa bean and turned it into brown dye, if you right-click on these machines or these devices with any dye color, it will dye it that color. I think brown would look good in this room, trying to keep things kind of organic, but yeah, just keep that in mind. You can do that pretty much anywhere. And now for probably what I'm looking the most forward to is that in this episode we did this, right? But what I could do, and what I plan on doing, is expanding our network out, because now we're not actually waiting for items to get piped through a pipe. We're just trying to connect everything together. So I'd love to get a little underwater pipeline with cables coming over here somewhere. And I definitely want to get one going into that factory because that one's like the easiest one that we could possibly do. There are still wireless inventories that we could use as well, but I don't think that's really super duper necessary. But yeah, so far we are doing super well in the realm of refined storage. I think we have made quite a lot of progress this episode, and with that, I am also out of quartz dust. So I think I'm going to have to do some more quartz mining in between episodes if we continue down the what all can we automate with refined storage process, because there's a lot. But I think I'm going to call the episode here and go ahead and spend a lot of time just decorating down here, making this look good again, because right now it looks terrible. And I want to show off our awesome looking controller in a nice way, so we're going to figure out that piece as well. Probably using some sort of a cool looking glass. I know that there are a couple of really nice ones from Thermal. There's a couple of really cool ones, especially like if we took the shimmer sand that we have, we could take like a piece of this and go smelt that and use that because it'll also emit light. So yeah, I'm just going to work on decorating that, making that look really cool, and you won't really miss that much. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Sorry, this one was a little bit shorter. Had to compensate for the extra long episode for the last one, but I will see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed. Take it easy.